How's it going, everybody? Wanted to shoot a quick video to let you guys know what's going on. I know I've been putting some stuff out there. I'm just, sometimes I skip a day or two here or there. Really doing my best to try to get content out to you guys on a regular basis. Just want to let everybody know that I took and passed the exam number is 2V0621D, which basically equates to the VCP6 Data Center Virtualization exam, the Delta. So if you've already got a VCP exam or VCP certification that's valid, then you can upgrade it with upgrade and renew the older cert, so VCP6-5. So I took that and I did pass it, so I'm happy to announce that. So now normally what I do is I've always got a game plan of, jump out of one cert and into another. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. So because of the fact that I work for a Cisco partner, I have inside the partnership there's usually going to be roles that are associated to a certain engineer or a group of engineers, things like that. The irony of things, honestly, a CCIE wasn't good enough for one of the roles. It requires a CCIE and a CCNA wireless certification. So one of the things that you get as a CCIE is you no longer have to take any CCNA level exams. Any valid CCIE will fill that role because of the fact it's mostly going to be theoretical stuff anyway at the CCNA level. So right now I am going to take a couple of weeks, and IP Expert has a really good CCNA wireless setup. I'm going to go through that material and start to learn it, spend a couple weeks on it. I have a really good friend of mine who is a systems engineer with Cisco, who is pretty strong on the wireless side, so I'm going to leverage him as I go forward. So that's pretty much where I'm going to be at. And I'm not going to be going at it like hardcore, like I'm going to go set up a video series for wireless or anything like that. More or less this is because of the fact that I need this for the role, and I have a couple of months to get it done, so that's my game plan so far. But while I'm studying that, which will probably be 3 or 4 days a week for a couple hours each day, just so I can really get through the videos that IP Expert has, and then I plan on going through and doing some demos and whatnot, and go from there. So that's pretty much the game plan as it sits right now. I am also going pretty hardcore for the NP service provider exam, and mainly for the fact that I would say out of the 4 exams, I would say probably, and this is just a very conservative assessment, that I would say about 60% of it I already am familiar with, and that is specifically to, like obviously OSPF and ISIS I'm familiar with. Things like BGP and MPLS VPN, Layer 3 VPN inside of a single autonomous system, I am familiar with. So a lot of that stuff is already done. Most of the multicast inside of an enterprise environment, setting up PIM and some rendezvous points and things like that, relatively straightforward. Obviously, I'm not as strong in multicast as I am in BGP and MPLS, but those are going to be areas that I focus on as we move forward. But NP service provider is where I'm going to spend the majority of my time, and I think I'm actually going to go for the cert because of the fact that the company we just acquired is a service provider. It kind of makes sense to go that route. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing as we move forward. I'm going to be doing that, and hopefully I'd like to see, it's the end of January now, by the end of February, beginning middle of March, I'd like to be completely through the NP track for SP, and hopefully have taken the tests and be done with that, so I could actually have CCNP service provider under my belt. And then really at that point you're just adding whatever new technologies are on the CCA service provider version 4 blueprint and start studying for that. So I'm hoping that before Easter, which I believe is in April, to be focusing on CCNP data center. And I went through IP Expert's CCNA data center, and most of it made a lot of sense. I'm going to have to go back through the storage and the UCS stuff because of the fact that I'm not familiar with that as much. I've seen more Nexus in the out there than I have storage, like working with fiber channel over Ethernet, fiber channel, and MDS. I mean, I get the reason why MDS is used and why, you know, different technologies are utilized. So my personal opinion is Jason Lund did a very good job in the CCNA data center setup, and I tend to gravitate towards a CCIE in that particular track because they're going to be able to pretty easily explain things to you if they're already a CCIE. So that's just my personal view on the situation. I don't know if INE is going to come out with a CCNA data center setup. They do have some CCNA data center material out there, but I personally, whoever the instructor was that did it, I didn't actually follow him. I never actually watched any of the videos, and I've never heard of him before. I've heard of Jason Lund. I take some of his other, some of his material in the past, so I'm going to gravitate towards that, and then eventually get into CCNP data center, and I'm going to be going for going through that as well because data centers are really hot right now, as it's been for quite some time now actually, and then I'm going to be getting some rack rentals. Spending some money on rack rentals because obviously I don't have the money to go out and buy. I actually did go out the other day for about an hour and I priced out what it would cost to buy a Nexus switch, a Nexus 7K, 5K, a 2K, an MDS 9222i, a UCS C series server, and a UCS B series server, and the Nexus alone was, I want to say it was 11,000, and that was with the SUP2E supervisor module, F2 cards, M2 cards. And granted, I don't know all the little caveats and all the little things you would need to actually put all that together. So rather than me go out and spend, say, $30,000 on a Nexus or a data center lab to study data center, it makes more sense to go out there and at my own pace go out and buy rack rentals and utilize that so that I can practice this stuff and make sure that I understand what's going on and as we move forward in that. Because I'm a big fan of hands-on stuff, so anything I can do hands-on I do. And then my goal after that will probably be wireless or security and go from that route. And then I'm patiently waiting for VMware to release the VCAP for vSphere 6 because I would like to go through and do that as well. I like VMware, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the data center track. So a lot of things that I know about iSCSI and I see inside of VMware, like NPIV and node port virtualization, things like that are intriguing, but they're at the same point in time, you got to pick and choose what you do and where you're going to go with it. But that's pretty much where it's at right now. It's interesting so far, but one day at a time, really, that's where I've been focusing on and trying to get stuff situated because at the end of the day, that's really what it boils down to is where do you want to go? I mean, a lot of people ask me and continue to ask questions. I'm more than happy to answer questions and offer advice where I can, stuff like that. But the primary thing that I find is, and a friend of mine who recently passed the CCA lab, he basically told me that he's planning on taking a break, obviously, after passing a CCIE. I haven't really been going hardcore in any one track. I've been kind of slacking off, and mainly because of the fact that I've got a CCIE. I don't really have to put the time and effort into it. But I spend so much time working on the CCIE route switch that you get to a certain point where you start to miss it, and that's kind of like Stockholm syndrome, where you get like the hostage starts to fall in love with the hostage taker, that type of deal. So the exam is the hostage taker, and you are a hostage to the exam until you pass it. Well, I kind of missed that, really digging deep into something. So I want to put a couple of videos together here. We go along. do some MPLS stuff, do some DMVPN, do some advanced level things, because the fact that I want to keep my skills fresh, because I don't want that to ever be a situation where, you know, I'm like, well, gosh, it's been so long since I touched that, I honestly don't remember. You know, that doesn't sound very good coming from a CCIE. You guys have been awesome. I would like to thank everybody for their continued support and stuff like that. But until next time, take care, everybody. Be safe. Peace out.